Okay, so we are taking a look at the first story from chapter 25 as an example of what your midterm is going to look like. So your midterm is going to be the second story that's in chapter 25. On this video, we're going to take a look at the first story, and I'll give you some of the types of questions that you might be looking for. For example, the grammar questions are going to be about case and number for noun adjective pairs. Remember that number is singular or plural. Your ablative phrases about time, as well as accusative phrases about time, potentially. The types of ablatives, like manner and means, and those kinds of things, in comparative and superlative of adjective and adverb. I have loaded those charts that I gave you before the break up to Moodle. So if you don't have those, they are available for you in PDF form. You can have those open while you're taking the midterm. That's totally fine. It's open book, open note, open chart. So you should be good to go. So let's take a look here at this story where Quintus is getting his toga of manhood. So for example, you're going to have some comprehension questions as well as some grammar questions. The comprehension question for this first sentence might be, what is Quintus prepared to put on? And the answer would be the toga of manhood, which is right here in the first sentence, the first line. And then I might ask you, what's the case and number of toga moralim? And if you're looking at your noun chart, you can see that the answer would be accusative singular because they both share the M ending. And that's the only thing that the M ending can be for a noun adjective pair. Second sentence, many of his friends had left from the school of Orbilius and they were now studying rhetoric. So I might ask you, like, where had they left or what were they studying now, something like that. He himself did not want to study in the school any longer. So another grammar question I might ask you would be about in ludo. So what case is in ludo and why? And you can see that it is in a prepositional phrase. And so that case would be ablative. If I was asking you why ludo is ablative, you could just tell me that it's in the prepositional phrase within. So he wanted to enter into a wider field. This is another noun adjective pair. So latiorum compum. What case would that be? Again, looking at your noun chart, there it's going to be accusative singular again because they both end with that M. Latiorum is going to be an adjective that we looked at prior to the break. Remember that if it has an IOR in the stem, that it's going to be comparative. So wider or a more wide field. And that also, it's in your notes, it's in the PDF that's on the Moodle site. Okay, so winter was passing by. It had already become spring. Quintus was sitting in the school while Orbilius was lecturing about a certain old poet. And here it has a sentence with a lot of things. So Quintus had never or had studied no poet more boring than this guy. So here you know you're going to have a comparative because you have quam, right? And this one right here is going to be your comparative because it has the IOR. So more boring. And also it's glossed right there for you. So that's nice. Skipping down to line 8. He now made these, he had made these verses, which were very pleasing to him. Is Maxime going to be an adjective or an adverb? If you're looking at the chart and you know that it ends with a long E, remember that it's going to be an adverb. And then what's the degree of Maxime? If you're looking at your chart, hopefully you can see that it is an irregular superlative. So pleased him very greatly, or the most greatly. and some comprehension questions I might ask you about a paragraph like this down here at the bottom. So what did Orbilius see him doing? Your answer would be inscribentum. So he saw him writing. What did he ask Quintus? He asked Quintus what he was doing, quid facus. What did Quintus respond? I, master, our teacher, I am doing nothing. I am listening to you. Okay, let's take a look at some things on the second page of the story. I wanted to take a look at just some regular adjectives that don't have a corresponding, they're not in a pair. So, for example, Orbilius eratus erat. So what would be the degree of eratus right there? Eratus, remember, means angry. There's no marker. There's no IOR or ISSI or IRRI. So that's just going to be a regular adjective, and we call that a positive degree adjective. Same thing with eratus here. It's just going to be a positive degree adjective. Remember, anything that's just a straight up adjective that you would find exactly like it is in the glossary or the dictionary is going to be a positive degree. Let's skip down to line, just down here to line 19. He inspected Quintus fiercely, ferociter. What degree of adverb would ferociter be? If it's just fiercely, again, it's going to be a positive degree adverb. So the ERs are always going to be positive degree adverbs. And he said in a very loud voice, what? What? Again, you have a noun adjective pair with maxima voce. So what, first of all, what case is that going to be? It's going to be ablative. You don't have a prepositional phrase. So what kind of ablative is that? And if you're looking at your ablative sheet, you can see that it's going to be ablative of manner. That's how he is speaking in a very loud voice. And then again, what degree is maxima? This one's the adjective. So it's still going to be superlative. Before we had maxime with the E on the end of it. That was the adverb. Maxima is going to be the adjective. That's still superlative. They're both superlative. And you're going to translate them in pretty much the same way. So in a very loud. Okay. That is that covers all the types of grammar questions that I might ask you. So case and number, ablative of phrases, why are they ablative? Is it manner or means or instrument or something like that? In comparative and superlatives. The rest of it's going to be comprehension. So what's happening in the story. And again, you will have your book. And so far it sounds like everybody's got their book. So that's great. If you don't, and I think I'll probably do this anyway, I'm going to scan your glossary and put it on Moodle just so you have it there. That might be more convenient anyway when you're working through the midterm. So let me know if you have any questions. You can always email me, or I think you can message me through the Moodle, and I will see you later.